Yo, I just want y'all to get that right introduction. So anyway, check out the guy, check out the style, and then we'll get back to something. Check out the guy, check out the style. This is his first appearance ever on TV. Johnny Carson.
Show been open since 1946. Maybe some of you read about it. That was the wind. You know, had a little uniform run across the stage. Did a little encore. It was well, it was exciting. I'd like to do it for you since you weren't there, and maybe you might remember. I was the wind, like I said. And it was exciting, you know, because the parents came and I never saw them before, and it was lovely, you know. Where are your parents? Like, I waved at them, and we had let me see, like a guy, Mr. Conrad was the principal of the school. He was in charge. Nobody liked him because people let you go to little boys' room.
Start now, applauding him for that because they all did. Him, George Carlin, everybody was doing the Bill Cosby, Dick Gregory, real clean cut comedy. This is in '68. This is after his extent in the military. Richard Pryor served from 1958 to 1960 in the military. They say he was locked up the whole time because of an altercation he got into in West Germany. Okay. And for the record, I'm taking this one smooth because at the end of the day, I want to show you how something doesn't make any sense to me. If this stuff is so beneficial and it's supposed to help at least my folks, why at the end of the day did he ended up being on dope and falling off bad? Like, how did he get such a bad ending? And I know some people might say, well, he joined later. My whole thing is, okay, say that is true. Say it's true that, you know, all the dirt that he did was while he wasn't a Mason at all. Why did it not benefit Negroes at all? Why did no benefit come from these lodges? If he was such a good guy and he did so much for them, why did they leave him hanging like that? And why is he the one that comes out pushing the nigga narrative so tough? And then in the 80s, maybe they can say when he joined the lodge, he stopped using the word. That's fair. The problem comes in when what he did was basically make it cool to say. He made it cool to pass around. Everybody started using the word like, "Oh yeah, Rich Pryor says it." His first comedy tape is "This nigga's crazy." All these Masonic brothers, and none of them knew about any of the Indian stuff. None of them even talked about it. They talked about, black man and struggle and everything like that. The N word has been used to destroy a group of people on the grounds that it was an insult that people are saying they turned it into an endearing statement. But then, fast forward, every other nation started using it against these black people. You don't see Arabians that say nigga calling their mama that or their sister that or anybody like that. They just call you that. Everybody that you claimed was cool with you that uses that word, they do not use it towards their own people. So, are the Masons by themselves, or Prince Hall Masons by themselves? And they have nothing to do with the white man's version at all. They're completely different. Why did Jesse Jackson have two different shirts on or sweaters? Who helped Pac fake his death? Mason or not, why was Richard Pryor's right hand Paul Mooney, who was fruitier than a bowl of Fruit Loops? We can all see it. Plus, you've never seen Paul Mooney in a relationship. You've never seen him with a woman. I know people are like, oh, I seen Richard Pryor woman. Yes, of course. I don't think he was like full blown gay. I think he was bi. Do I think it started from him on his own? No. I think it happened in the brothel. He joins the Masons in the 80s, early 80s. Then later, he comes through with Pryor's Place and I think Critical Condition. He has a few movies. Then he ends up doing Harlem Nights. So we can't sit here and be like, oh, because he's not using the word nigga, and because he's done a couple children's shows, everything is peaches. Turn around, like I said, and does Harlem Nights. I'm not knocking Harlem Nights. I'm not saying it like, oh, it's an evil movie if you watch it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, do you see the duality? Do you see the up and down, the back and forth? The reason I'm bringing this up is not to expose Richard Pryor. I've already talked about him in several different videos on my old page about how it has been alluded to Paul Mooney molesting his son, and then he was going to kill Paul Mooney, but he ended up smoking crack, setting himself on fire. That was on Comedy Hype, I think 2 years ago. That information was told. As far as the affair he had with Marlon Brando, his wife confirmed that. Excuse me, the white woman, the one he stayed with the most. She confirmed that story to be true. So, if at this roast that he had, they got a lot of gay jokes, and he's basically saying that Paul Mooney is known as Miss Thang. in the industry. Now, fast forward because people don't see the connection. Okay, fast forward to the supposed entertainment criminals today. The entertaining criminals. Look at them today. Aren't they kind of fruity? It's weird how people go from thug to fruity as hell. And it's like if you look at the background of them, people saying that same stuff. When Special Ed was talking about NWA, he's like, no, better yet, he didn't say it. Somebody else said it. They're like, all that nigga shit that they talking, that's all Richard Pryor. That's before them. Like they're not to blame for what they had. Okay, so who are you blaming? If you're saying that Richard Pryor is really the predecessor to NWA because it's niggas with attitude, okay, who made it cool to say niggas? Who made it okay to use this word? And then he stops using it in the 80s, but then in the same decade, here comes this group. Like the work has already been done. So to me, you're in the military. When you first started comedy, you were clean cut. You weren't cussing. Then all of a sudden, you start using the N word, and then you're involved with cocaine, and you have this whole different switch. But they're saying you're not amazing until the 80s. Okay, is it true that it happened in the 80s? Or did you get initiated because of what you did already? All the dirt you have already done, all the homosexual encounters, letting your girl get involved with sleeping with other men, even though you was mad at it in the movie, but it's like you still let her do it. The knowing about the Paul Mooney situation, the list goes on. It's like, to me, Richard Pryor had to be, well, he didn't have to be, but I feel that he was already involved because he's like the forerunner of this word that is going to destroy black people. It's like he made it possible for them to use, to be derogatory towards each other and have no effect verbally, which is going to turn into physical, which also is around spiritual and mental. Like you're warping people into thinking something that was a negative toward you is now a positive. But you see where it's gotten you. Now everybody's saying it. KRS brought this shit up in the 90s. You got even white boys calling themselves niggas. And it's like, okay, it got to that point, then they start calling you nigga again. The cycle started all over again. Who made the N word cool? Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor will always be known for the one that made it comfortable to say that word with no problem. If people don't, because I can hear him say, well, he was doing that before he became amazing, and then it seems like when he became amazing, he stopped using the word. Maybe because he didn't have to anymore. Maybe the work was already done. You can try to clean your jacket up, but it's like we know there's dirty masons. We know that there's bad ones because everybody's not a Shriner. Everybody's not a mason in good standings. So what does that mean? And who was he involved with in the end to see how it goes from, like I said, him using the word to gangster rap to, because I can hear people, oh, what was going on in the 70s? When does Richard Pryor come out? Late 60s, early 70s. This is when he like blows up. So blaxploitation comes out in the 70s as well. Okay, it's all wrapped together. So you can't say one did greater damage than the other. No, they both had a a hand to play. I just find it weird that he had a Mason background. All these motherfuckers say that they're in secret for good intent, but look at black people. Look at them with all these Prince Hall Masons around. Look where they went. Nowhere. And if you're telling me that the Prince Hall Masons are the fucking bootlicking Democrats that are black, the fraternity people, nigga, they can really kiss my ass because they really haven't helped. So where are we going with this? It's kind of like my video I got coming tomorrow talking about how Gullah Geechee are not Indians. They're not. They're African. I know a lot of people are going to be upset at that video because they're going to be like, nah, it's not true. No, bro. No. There's a reason that we know that they're African because of what came out of them. See, we about to really crack some heads. And yo, shout out to Minister Inky. Everybody mad at Inky right now. Everybody mad at Dr. Inky. He called him Stinky Inky, all this shit. And I'm like, yo, are y'all picking sides? Are y'all picking sides in this whole Sinetta war? Look, bottom line is this. Even if Sinetta is saying he didn't do anything, nigga, you brought these motherfuckers. So you can't be talking shit about people that you put on. Well, they were doing their own thing. They weren't doing it to the effect of when they dealt with you. Everybody got their shine with you. Let's just give Sinetta his props right now. That's why everybody still goes over there. It's a window to exposure. Everybody knows that. Stop hating on the old man. All right? Don't hate on the old man when it comes to that because, nigga, we call him the Don King of consciousness. He is the Don King of this shit. He gets fucking debates going and shit. Basically, like, knowledge battles is like, bro, he gets it in when it comes to that. And if he'd have stuck in that lane and just stayed that, you know what I'm saying? Stop getting involved in the discussion. Stop, like, involving yourself. Just mediate. Just be the mediator, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's the best advice I can get at Ohhhhh. Just mediate, bro. Don't tell them your feelings. Don't get into debates with the people on your show about how you feel about things. Always let people know it don't matter how I feel. I am the mediator. I'm just working the middle for what y'all are talking about. I don't want nothing to do with it. But he's too busy, he's too into debating the Bible and stuff like that because he want to be heard. He want to, speak his voice. He's the first one out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? He feels he was doing it before everybody. It was like, yo, it was just on the streets. So give the man his props. But I'm saying that to say this. You be a damn fool, to think Cy is that old and he ain't got no wisdom. He didn't know half these jokers is full of shit and on some, lies and tricks. But the problem is this. He's going to use thug logic when he's supposed to be revolutionary. He's going to be like, well, shit, what am I supposed to be? And all these dudes' business and shit, they got multiple girls. What am I supposed to say? I don't care. Get you conscious. But no, you're not. Because even you got, your wife and then you got Nepal. So, and I'm not saying anything wrong with it, bro. I'm saying this is what comes with being the fucking mediator, the host of the show. Just like motherfuckers is looking at Umar Johnson funny now. Like, how do you have all this, relationship advice and you're not married, nigga? You're old as fuck, nigga. You ain't no young nigga. And I'm not saying old like fucking, geezer. No, I'm saying, nigga, you're old enough to be married. Your advice can't work. You're not making any sense. But I say that to say this. The people that came out of that whole Gullah Geechee stuff, and like I said, shout out to Minister Inky because he had Crip Jesus on. And Crip Jesus is cool, but he said something that he doesn't even realize that he said. He was kind of going at the Aboriginals, the Indians, saying, oh, y'all just don't want to be Moors. And he was showing some stuff. Now, I know that the original Americans, the melanated ones, are not Moors. I know there are Maroos. And that's where the tricknology comes in. People think a Moor is a Maru. It's not. And you can tell that they're different because who they called a Moor in pictures when they seen him dressed like an Indian with the bow and arrow with the afro, that is an Amaru. That's not a Moor. Those are foreigners coming over calling this a Moor. Amarus are the only ones that wore the Tauntauns, the Atanchinous people. They're the only ones that wore the feathers the way that they wore them. Everybody has seen Noble Drew Ali. We all know the way he wears his feather. His headdress is Turkish, period. And we all know Turkish worship the crescent moon and star, period. We're not going to play these games. We know. We know where Noble Drew gets his stuff from. His stuff is coming from the East because that's where he's getting his from. But what about the feather wearers over here and the way that they wore them, which became the war crowns that you see these Siberian Indians wear? They wear the war crowns where it goes way down there, but that's not the original crown. The original crown is on the Mason apron. And we already know what it is. It's feathers lined up like this right here. Like if I had a bunch of feathers in it lined up. It's like a real crown. It looks like a crown, like a king's crown. And it makes you wonder who did what first. Do you think there was an actual crown first made out of solid gold? Or do you think the head wrap with the feathers in it poking out was the original crown? Makes sense. I mean, all the Egyptians didn't wear no fucking crown. They wore the headdress thing. They wore that joint. You know what I'm saying? You can see where the Muslims get their shit from, where they get their shit from. I didn't say the Egyptians were Muslims. I said you can see where they get their shit from. But over here, it's a total different headdress. The Moors never wore feathers like that. They never wore feathers where it was a crown. You can't show me no near not a Moor like that. Moors wore fezzes and they wore turbans and they wore the little overtop and shit. These is desert cats. That's how you know they're not from America. They wear desert clothing. Look at fucking Messamouza. It's a person you claiming you sent over here. How the hell is he gonna be dressed different than what he is? Y'all not making no sense. Y'all not making no sense at all. Moors dress like desert dwellers and Arabs. That's how they dress. They dress like they're in the desert. Show me a picture of historical Moors with their chests out and a little fucking apron and shit running around with feathers on their head. Show me that. You can't. And you won't. Because the Moors y'all talking about is from North Africa, and those were some Muslims. And North Africa goes all the way over to Egypt beyond. So it's like, bro, the Middle East, we know who them people is. We know why Moors are more Arabic or Islamic. Let's say it like that. We know why Moors are more Islamic, even though they're the ones who conquered Spain. Spain used to be Al-Andalus. It's a historical fact. We know that they created Spanish. Them people weren't speaking no fucking Spanish because remember, there is no Spanish. It was Latin. So why isn't Spain called Lane? Why isn't it called Lane Land? Because they didn't create that neither. They have nothing to do with it. It's the Moors who did all that shit up there. Okay, but we're not talking about no Moors. We're talking about the Amarus. What do you think these Boule fucking Prince Hall Masons been doing? They've been having us run around in circles, not getting anywhere. That's what I'm saying, the Richard Pryor thing. What did he do? I liked him. He was funny. He was cool. Okay, what knowledge did he give us about who we were? No, he took us to Africa. Just like all these Boule motherfuckers do. That's why I'm saying there's no way that he became a Mason later. Now, get the fuck out of here, bro. He been a fucking Mason. Even if you're saying he wasn't initiated, how ironic he gets initiated in his hometown, Peoria. That's where he's from. Oh, no, but he got initiated in the 80s. Nigga, shut the fuck up. He been in this town his whole fucking life. He been in the military, everything. You telling me why he was in the military 2 years, locked away or not? He didn't meet up with nobody. The military is fucking Masons. They in the G Lodge. What are you talking about? 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 What are you talking about That video tomorrow gonna be banging. I had to wait forever for this video because it's like, there was so much going on, but on truth, in truth, facts. Yeah. Richard Pryor being a Mason and starting out as a calm, clean cut comedian, and then coming through with the whole nigga shit and putting people in the spell of that. And then, like I said, in the 80s when he stops using, when he professes he's not gonna use it anymore on the Sunset Strip, that stand up, Richard Pryor live on Sunset Strip. When he does that, like 2 years later, a year later, here comes NWA. Don't that sound like passing the torch? Oh no, he became amazing. Hold up, nigga. Oh, it wasn't them. Dog. Ruthless Records is Jerry Heller. There's a fucking a Jew there. There's a Jew right there, and then you got Ice Cube talking shit, not realizing that. What the fuck do you think that the Prince Hall Masons is? What do you think the Boule is, boy? Who you think they're running under? Illuminati. No, what do you think they're dealing with? You keep saying the devil. Okay, that shit only exists, motherfucker, in a premise of a story. God and the devil. Okay, for sure. So it's not fantasy. It's right there in your face. So it's just the white dude who's evil. Got these boule fucking Masons and shit, and you ain't seeing the black elite. It can't be Tulsa. They burnt it down. See, that's the weird thing about y'all. Y'all don't get what the fuck y'all doing out here. Y'all lost. Y'all thinking black elites is the blacks that had their own town, Harlem, Tulsa. No. They destroyed all that. They redlined Harlem. They destroyed Tulsa. So those couldn't be the black elites. Who are the black elites? The ones that keep you in the ringer. The ones that keep you marching up the street for some bullshit, knowing that Jesse had 2 different sweaters on, thanks to the Smithsonian. A fucking credible source shows us the colorized version of the tape, clearly cutting the tape. You can clearly see this cut. Okay, this is Assassination Day. How the fuck they're 2 different shirts? Why would they cut it and show 2 different shirts? That don't even make no fucking sense. And why are they doing the same deal with the same people? Because old boy in the back still got that black and gold shirt on, and Martin Luther King is in the same suit. So why is Jesse the only one that's changing shirts? Because he's the only one who's gonna wipe blood on his chest. Oh no, he set him up. Martin Luther King get out this car twice. They walk up the staircase twice. He would. So there ain't no setup. It's set up for us because we know no better. Who made the N-word cool? Richard Pryor. He started it. Just so happened he a boule Mason or just a Mason, whatever. But he went to the military. So I believe he was already initiated long before he even went into a lodge. There's a proceeding and everything. There's a fraternal, there's a order of police. There's a fraternal order of police. They got their own lodge. See? You don't think the military has its own lodge? You're taking an oath either way. So be mindful of that. And tomorrow, like I said, the Gullah Geechee video, people can get mad all they want, but people like Rob Boyne and them was right. Those are Africans. They sure is. And when you find out who they brought to the table, you gonna agree. You ain't gonna claim that shit. I wouldn't claim no, but I've been saying that. I don't claim no Gullah Geechee. Nah, I see the tricks y'all play. I see the tricks y'all playing. We don't even need that. With all the tribes that have been erased that y'all bringing back, with all the other tribes that have already been there. There's way more to talk about than some Gullah Gullah. We don't need no, Nickelodeon cartoon show Gullah Island. It's deeper than that. Richard Pryor was involved, and he has homosexual stories in his background, and the drug addiction, and there's child molestation. Not saying him, but part of a lot of shit there. he made the N word cool. And people can, talk shit all they want. He changed his life. Yeah, yeah, of course. The dirt is done. It's too late. It's too fucking late. It is what it is. To the next video.